Okay, good evening, everyone. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie, and welcome to tonight's call. And this call, everyone's absolutely welcome. So if you've got any members that you find that are particularly out in country areas, or maybe they haven't got somewhere to plug into, this is the place to invite them on every Monday night. And if they can't be on live, then obviously you can share the recording with them that goes out as well. So tonight's training's all about the art of recruiting and how to build a team. But what I thought I'd do, like we always do each time, is go through some good news of what's happening all around the country and even overseas, because we sometimes have people internationally on this call too. So Lydia, I'd love you to start and kick off our good news on what's happening in your business. I'll just wait for it to catch up. I think that the internet keeps clicking in and out. You're right there, Lydia. You call to share? I think it might have.
You're not talking to me, are you, Shelley?
I am, yes. Sorry.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes.
So if you want to kick off your good news, that will be.
Want me to go?
Yes, please. Thank you. Sorry. Yep, you can go ahead, Lydia, and share your good news. I think there must be a delay in the sound tonight.
Oh, sorry, Shelley. I thought the other lady.
No, that's okay.
Sorry. Yep. Okay, no worries. Okay, cool. Yeah, I visited a friend over in Yeppoon a week ago, Shelley, and she was one of my very first clients back 8 years ago. She was on the products, lost about 8 kilos in 3 months, and then it just came down to an issue with soy and that sort of thing. So she was one person that I contacted as soon as we got the Select one. I took over a couple of samples for her and her daughter, because her daughter has fallen into her mum's footsteps with the, no gluten, no soy, this sort of thing. So I took over 2 samples. They actually tried on the day that I was there. I jumped ahead by taking a container over with me, knowing that they would love the flavour and love the product. So I actually sold that one at cost price. And yeah, she's contacted today. They've been through that in about 6 days, 2 of them using that product and the multivitamin. Loving the program, losing weight, and yes, I'm hooking those guys back up to be reinstated so they can get the discount. So that's 2 new clients there. Also, we have our challenge, Gundy versus the Billow Crew, kicking off this Wednesday, and that's going to go for 30 days, and that will be our last, we've advertised it as our last challenge for 2018, because we always, try and make things work to our last experiences, and we found that late November, December was pretty shitty the last 2 years for challenges, just because of the Christmas parties sort of thing. So we promoted this challenge, the last one for 2018, and put that fear factor into everybody. And yeah, at this stage we look like having about 38 people in that challenge. So yeah, and about 4 or 5 newbies for both Marcel and I in there as well. So we're excited to do that, and yeah, see where that leads.
Excellent. Well, we can't wait to hear all the results that come through. I know you like having that friendly rivalry as well between the towns, and we've obviously joined you sometimes too. So maybe next year we can do that again. That would be good. Well, thank you for sharing, Lydia. So
yep, for sure.
Yeah, and I know, obviously you're in a country town and you're doing it part-time around your family and everything. So you obviously do, you make time to travel too. It's not always easy juggling, traveling to other towns and areas, but you're doing an amazing job. So thank you, Lydia. So we've got Coral.
Thank you.
We've got Coral of Michael. So it must be the time for weight loss challenges. I know you've got some great news to share regarding your weight loss challenge and results.
Yes, we've also announced ours is the last one for 2018, and we're doing an 8-week one. So just going into the 2nd week of December, and we had a couple that joined, went on the product on the 12th of July. They have, the lady has lost 45 centimetres all up, and her husband is 47 centimetres, and they're in their late 60s. So they're just absolutely tickled pink with themselves, and we're proud of them. I couldn't wipe the smile off my face today with them. We've got a few new ones in the challenge. it is a bit slow this time of year, but we are still taking on participants. And I had my girlfriend come up to stay. She's been over in England. I just thought I'd just share. She brought me some products back, and they're absolutely stunning. They're the muesli bars type of things, a meal replacement as well. So if you know of anyone that's going overseas, you can ask them, or can you get me some products and bring back? So that's a great idea for everybody, and you get to try different things as well.
Yes, well, it's great when you go overseas to try some different things too when you travel. Thank you very much for sharing, Coral and Michael. You're doing an amazing job. I just wanted to say welcome to Tony. So this one here, Irene, TTT, he's in your organisation, Tony. He's just written a note in the chat group about that. So welcome to the call, Tony. Thank you for being on. And I just clicked through. And Lindy's on, obviously, from Canberra, and Mervyn from Canberra. The Canberra crew is pretty strong at the moment. We have to lift our game, guys. And also Jan from the Gold Coast. Thank you for being on the call, everyone.
Watch out, we might come and take over.
That's it. You just might. That's okay. We're okay with that. So my good news for this week is we went into Autobarn to get some oil or something. I don't know, whatever it was, some car thing. And I handed some flyers to this young girl, and she was fairly young, and she was, definitely looked very thin. So I knew she wasn't interested in weight loss, but I just said, this is what I do, and introduced myself. And her name's, what's her name? Kirsten. And I just said, what we do. And she goes, yeah, that sounds really awesome. And then I went off to find Ross and find what he was looking at, and then came back to the counter, and she goes, by the way, do you help people gain weight? And I said, well, yes, I do. So I've got her details. I got her number. Sorry, where's my photo? So I got her number. It's pretty good for me. And I gave her a call today, and I'm organising an information pack and then to catch up with her one-on-one. So I thought that was really good. And so it's quite interesting how many people are underweight and actually need to put on healthy weight. So, we can help so many people. So, because sometimes I've heard people go, they don't need to lose weight, they don't need the products. But if you've got a body and you've got cells, you need the products. So always, be open-minded, because you just never know. That person that maybe looks really skinny might not be healthy, or they might not be feeling their best. And so, don't prejudge or make up their mind. Just offer it to everyone, because you never know. So I'll keep you updated on Kirsten and see what happens. There's a few other things happening as well, but that was one of the main ones that just happened yesterday. So, and keep the good news coming in too. We're happy to hear from everybody. We want to hear what's going on. So let's get on with tonight's topic, which I know we really love this because, recruiting's fun. Don't ever shy away from recruiting. I know Jan's definitely always talking about this. This is something that, we all want to get good at. We want to be good at recruiting. So, and I don't know why my sheets, just wait, let me just flick. I think I might have lost a sheet. Was it out of order? Oh, here we go. It's upside down. I don't know why that is, but that's all right. I can work with that. So they call it the art of recruiting. And I'll just go through some of the things that were shared with me when I first got started. So, we only have so many hours in a day. So, which means personally, we can only help so many clients. So yes, I know I've had over 50 clients before, but it takes a lot of time to give them the follow-up and care they need. So you want to leverage your time. So helping 200 retail clients yourself versus having 20 people, having 20 of your own clients and then 10 team members helping their own 20 clients is really duplicating yourself and other people and working smarter. So you really want to use your time better and really work smarter. And the great thing about recruiting is it opens up all the areas of the marketing plan. You're not just going to be earning that one retail area of income. You've also got wholesale and royalties, and for the TAB team members, they get bonuses and other things too. So you really want to develop a royalty income. And I'm pretty sure everyone on this call is interested in royalty income, right? Just getting a nod of heads there. Yep. We all love royalty income. It's a really powerful area. That everyone is entitled to have access to. Okay, so let's continue on. So the art of recruiting, so to generate leads. So really that is finding people to talk to. And I was always taught to about none, some and lots. So if you talk to some people, you'll get, some team members. If you talk to lots, you'll get lots. But if you talk to none, well, you can answer that question. So you really need to go out and talk to people. And you want to choose a number you're comfortable with. It might be 3, 5, 7. I know Gary was always doing the 30 a day. But choose a number that you can achieve and you can always increase it, or something that maybe is going to help you stretch and grow. Know what you're like when it comes to your goals and your motivation. Is a number really high going to make you stretch and grow, or is it going to make you shut down and not do anything at all? So make sure you pick a number that works best for you with your, the way you are, and you want to be consistent. So did you have any things to add to that, Jan? I'm just looking for you.
No, what you said is perfect, because some people set their goals too high and don't achieve it, and then they feel bad about that because you never, pardon me, you never catch up. And one of the things on the screen there is be consistent, and that is just so important. Even if you can only do your flyers or whatever it is, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but always be consistent with those days. Whatever it is, work out your plan and stick to that plan no matter what.
Yes, and I remember either way I was taught to do a 90-day plan. It wasn't like I'd been in business 90 days and I'd done a 90-day plan. No, my 90-day plan was 90 days of consistent effort. So when I was working full-time at Telstra, I had my business was 3 days a week part-time, and so my 90-day plan was those 3 days a week. So I would go, but if I didn't do what I said I was going to do, so on the third day, I had to go back to day one and start again. I couldn't just keep going, run all the way through. So the proper way to do a 90-day plan is to do 90 days of consistent effort in a row. So if you miss a day, you have to basically go back to the start. So I think it took me like 11 or 12 goes at the very beginning before I actually completed my first 90-day plan. And then what I did is I did 3 90-day plans back to back, and that's when I did that 10,000 volume points over, I think it was 10,600 in 1 month. And also that's probably where the Get Team qualification happened, was doing those 90-day plans back to back. So it's really worth doing them. They don't have to be, humongous numbers, just something consistent, and just get started and write it down. But we're going to cover that as well. So how to generate leads and talk to people. So basically everything we do in the business is a bit like a menu. Like when you go to a restaurant, you're not going to order every single meal off the menu. You're going to choose what suits you, what your tastes are. So the business is exactly the same. You want to choose things in the menu that appeal to you, that you are going to enjoy, because if you do something you don't enjoy, people are going to pick up on that. But in saying that, sometimes it's good to try all the methods. So one, you know whether you like them, and two, you know how they work, so that when someone asks you about it, you actually have some experience as well. So there's probably 2 ways of looking at it. Would you agree with that, Jan?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you have a look, these are just a few, and look, there's many other recruiting methods, but talking to people wearing branding or a button, handing out flyers or letterboxing, ads, from traditional ads right through to online ads, asking people who do you know, social media, as long, I've got little asterisks there, as long as you stick to the guidelines. There is a social media package you can get from Herbalife, so make sure you abide to all the rules. It's very important, because we want to protect the golden goose, and we want to make sure that Herbalife's around for many generations to come. So just with the social media guidelines, make sure you stick to those. They're pretty simple, and it still allows for a bit of flexibility and creativity as well. Walking and talking, which is a really good one to do. Asking your clients or upgrading them, putting up posters or pull tabs, doing surveys, asking for referrals, your car signage, etc. There's many more as well. So I would suggest, I was always taught that imagine your business is like a table, and if you only have one method, so that's like this prime example this week in Gympie, we got hammered by rain and hail. So imagine if my only method was flyers and letterboxing. And we've just had like 3 days of full-on rain and everything's so wet and soggy, and if I was only letterboxing, then I wouldn't have been able to go out and do flyers for 3 days in a row. So if I have 4 methods, so I've got flyers, I've got some ads, I'm wearing my button and talking to people, and I might be doing some social media, there's my 4 legs on my table. So if one doesn't get done because something happens, I know there's 3 others that are going to take up the slack, basically. So that way you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, and you're giving your business a very stable foundation to build on. And again, being consistent is really important as well. Whatever you choose, like I think Jan said this last week about flyers, again, not picking too high a number so that you never hit that target, that it's something you know that you can get out every single week. And I know, Lydia, you were saying, because in your area, obviously, you've only got so many letterboxes, but Rockhampton's a much bigger population, so you're able to get someone to do flyers for you in that area. So you can be really creative. My other thing I do is you can ask your customers to do flyers for you. Maybe give them 50 or 100 flyers, ask them to do their street. You could even put them in a little prize draw and draw one out and give them a free bottle or something like that. Give them some incentives for doing it. Or if they get a call in their area, you could give them, you know, a free gift as well. And guess what? If they become a distributor, you're already training them how to do flyers, which I think is really good. So, you know, there's lots of creative things you can do to make it fun and magical and keep it simple at the same time. Did you have anything to add to that, Irene or Jan?
No, that I haven't. That's fine.
I think that's perfect, actually, truly perfect.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So what to say? So obviously once you generate some leads and you've got people to talk to, then you've got to think, what am I going to say to these people when they call? So I know something Merv did. He was really smart when he got me started in the business. I was really shy. I didn't like talking to anybody. I made sure that I think it took me 6 months before I even got up and shared my story during a Herbalife opportunity meeting. I think I just came out like a little squeak. I sat down again. But what he did at the start when he signed me up, he had ads running, obviously, and it was in an office. Andrew Foote was there, and a few other people, Mike Proctor, and the phones were just ringing constantly. You could hear them always ringing, and obviously there was a script on the table, and he sat Peter and I, because Peter was my boyfriend at the time, sat us down, and the phone would ring. He said, just read this script. And I remember the phone ringing, and I'd say, you answer. He goes, no, you answer. I go, no, you answer. And eventually we just started reading off this script, and it was to book people into the HOM, so the Herbalife Opportunity Meeting, and that was like 3 a week and a Saturday morning as well. And so it was a screening process. It was basically taking them through exactly the same script that I called off and got into, so it obviously worked. And it was just a script, and I read it. I sounded like a robot to start with, but the more you did it, the more natural you got, and then it didn't sound like you were reading anything. And something that Gary always said is that, you know, stand up when you're talking, because if more energy comes across. Do it in front of a mirror so you can see your body language and everything. Make sure you smile, because people can actually they can feel you smiling through the phone, and all these little things that would help with your attitude. Because I can tell you right now, if you don't have a good attitude, don't talk to someone. Go and get your attitude right, and then get on the phone. So the things that are really important is that you want to develop your own set of words. So you might have a script, and there's plenty of them out there. So if you haven't got a recruiting script, ask your sponsor or any of your mentors to have a look at some. I know Lydia's shared one on Challenge Yourself Daily. And you can change some of the words if it doesn't sound like you. I don't mean reinvent the whole thing, but just change it so it sounds like you. And it just basically helps you target key people and screens out the people that are not serious, okay? And it's okay if they're not serious. Have the script near the phone and call people back when you're prepared. So, for example, if I'm out, and I was out doing flyers once and someone called off a recruiting flyer, and I wasn't in no way prepared to go through the script, and I just said to her, look, I'm just out doing some advertising at the moment. Could I please give you a call back at blah, blah, blah? And I organised a time to call when I could sit with the script in front of me and call that person. Okay, you put all that effort into getting a call and a response. You want to make sure you do everything possible to make it as successful as you can. Okay, so that's why attitude is everything. So before you call, you might want to practice the script with your mentor, family and friends. Sometimes it's good doing it with your mentor, but for some reason, sometimes new people find that intimidating. I don't know why, but it's great to do it with a mentor, because they can throw different questions and draw things out of you that maybe you didn't know, and it helps you develop your skill. You know, your learning curve is actually accelerated. Family and friends sometimes can give you a hard time, but if you've got someone that's supportive and positive, that's a fun way of doing it as well, because they can throw a few curveballs at you, maybe be difficult, and you want to develop the right mindset. I remember when I first started doing calls, in my head, I'd go, they're not interested, they're not interested. You know, they're not going to be interested. And guess what? I rang them back and they weren't interested. So in my mind, I'd already said it, that. So I actually had to start going, this is the next president's team member. This is going to be my next supervisor. This person's going to, you know, I'm going to change their life. And I started thinking like that before I picked up the phone. And wow, what a different energy that you're going to put across when you're talking to someone. Have a herby beverage or something that's going to make you feel more energetic. So if you're talking like this and you're all, you know, listless and no energy, you know, it's not going to help you when you're talking to people. This is face to face and over the phone. Yeah, listen to some Jim Rohn, read your goals list. You want to lift up your vibration level so that you're, you know, you want to attract the right people to you. So if you're low, you're going to attract low people. If you've got a high vibration and you're feeling positive and happy, and you're thinking about that this person's going to be the person that, you know, is going to, you know, become your next presidency member, that's the sort of mindset you want to have before you pick up the call. Okay, answer the phone and call. And if you're not having a very good day, something's happening, give your mentor a call and they'll kick you up the butt and give you a pep talk. that always works too. Irene or Jan, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, that was perfect, Shelley.
Okay, cool. So these are things that I was taught, and I found it really difficult because I was so shy. I was I found my sponsor very intimidating. It was scary, and but yeah, but he taught me so much. You know, he did. He was a strong feeling person, and it was you know, he just, you know, he knew how to get into massive action. He knew how to make that phone ring, and you know, he taught me things that I still use today. So again, when you're talking to people, and we've talked about this the last couple of weeks as well, is using form, which is asking people questions about them. You want to find out about them and make sure that you're not doing most of the talking, you're getting some feedback. So form is asking about their family, occupation, recreation, and then listening for the message of what they're dissatisfied with. And then share lots of results and stories that relate. So share your story, and we did packaging your story last week. So you can do a little bit of your story, then maybe find a couple that are going to relate as well. And sometimes that's hard to do that off the top of your head. But the more trainings you go to and the more people you speak to, you start gathering those stories and having them either written down or, you know, you've just remembered them. And then ask for a decision. It's okay. You don't want to, again, you don't want to be sitting on the fence wondering a maybe, because then you're going, oh, were they interested, weren't they? It's like, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a yes or no, get a decision. And again, you know, no doesn't always mean no forever. And then you want to invite them into a Herbalife opportunity meeting. Now, if you're in a country area, that might mean you've got a recording of a Herbalife opportunity meeting, not a problem. And in fact, we probably should do another updated one soon and record it that we can use with this group. Or get different ways to send stories. I know, Jan, you've got lots of stories printed as well. So you could post it out to someone if you wanted to, or you could invite them to one if you've got that in your local area or town, and keep inviting them until you get a no, okay? And then even then still keep inviting no. So no doesn't mean no forever. And remember, they're not saying no to you, so don't take it personally.
Yes.
Did you have anything to add to that, Jan or Irene?
No, that's fine.
Inviting them until they say yes.
That's right, thank you. I like that. I'm going to change that. I'm putting that on there.
Because it took 6 months. 6 months of no.
Well, it took Jennifer about 6 or 7 phone calls to get me to go into the office way back in the beginning. So she persisted.
So I hope you're listening to this, guys. 2 Millionaire team members that took many invitations to get them there and their millionaire team. I hope you're listening to that. 6 or 7 times. Don't give up on someone just because you got a no the first time, okay?
It changed our lives, you know.
That's right. So yes, that's it.
Yours too, Jan, didn't it?
Absolutely.
So just be thinking that this could change someone's life, and they might not know it. They might not even appreciate that you feel strongly and passionate towards them about that. I mean, I know I've had some people that I've rang them and they've been annoyed with me, like, you know, they've been like a client and maybe going through a bit of detox and being irritated, but then at the end, when they got to their goal, they thanked me for sticking with them, even when they were a pain. So, you know what, they might be having other things going on in their life. So you've got to sort of not think it's about you. Go think outside of that and how you can help them, and just reach out one more time. Okay, and then of course it comes to the follow-up. So we've got how to generate leads, what to say to someone once they call, and then the follow-up. And the follow-up, of course, is where the fortune is made, because this is following up clients, it's following up your team members. It's all the same. It's all about staying in touch and plugging them into a support system. So you always want to get their details so that you can follow up to invite and ask that decision. It just puts the ball into your court so that you can get the best possible outcome. If you just leave it in that person's court, things happen, life happens, the dog has to go to the vet, and this happens, that happens. You need to just be able to ring someone or message them and say, hey, did you have a look at that? What did you think? Or have you decided what you wanted to do in your way? It doesn't have to be pushy, but to get that decision is really important. So, and no doesn't mean no forever. People's situations change all the time, and you want to plug them into the community. So obviously that community can also be with social media, like on the groups that we have. So if you've got some team members that maybe you feel they're a bit floating around and not plugged into anywhere, plug them into Challenge Yourself Daily. And if you've got clients, put them into your client group. If you haven't got one, you're more than welcome to jump on the one that I've got, the Fitness and Weight Loss Challenge one. And basically you're drip feeding information. So they're just getting bits of recipes and results and things like that fed to them in the form of posts. And it might just be someone's post that they read that gets them that day. Okay, it might not even come from you. It might come from someone else that they relate to. So that's why it's important that we all share on the groups and people are commenting and supporting. That builds a fantastic community. So ultimately we're looking for dissatisfied people, and there's plenty of them out there. So we need to find out what they're dissatisfied with and then show them a solution that we can offer. And it's basically becoming a problem solver. And if you learn how to do that, you'll be more successful. It'll happen with more ease, and that can be to do with the products, and it can also be to do with the business opportunity, or just giving someone a better lifestyle. Okay, so learn how to solve those problems and find out what people are dissatisfied with, and that's by asking those questions about their family and their occupation, their recreation, and why they're coming to you, why have they contacted you. So again, to do with follow-up, once someone becomes a member, that you've actually registered them, and you can either register them online, or you can order the business pack and then do it with them, or they can do it because a form comes out and they can register online. Either way is fine. It just depends on the person sometimes, on what suits them. So once someone becomes a member, you want to go through their setup steps, and you definitely want to get them a product result and treat them like a customer first, because their product result's their biggest asset. If they're not excited about the products or plugged into the products, how are they going to portray that to somebody else if they don't believe in it? So, we talk from the heart and we communicate with feelings. So we really want to make sure that this person has a fantastic product result. It doesn't have to be weight loss. It can be any result on the product that they feel strong about. Okay, so really spend a lot of time on follow-up. Even with your team members, treat them exactly like a customer. And you know what, by doing that, when you treat them like a customer, you're teaching them how to do follow-up as well. Then you want to plug them into the coach groups and trainings and different events, letting them know what's going on, and we're going to cover some of those tonight. And when you find out what people want, you want to help them achieve it. So if you want to get what you want, help enough people get what they want. That's all you need to do. So, and it's great sometimes taking the focus off yourself and putting it onto how you could help other people achieve what they want, because you will automatically move towards your goals. And again, it's just becoming a good problem solver. So, Irene, did you have anything to add to that?
No, not at all. I think that you covered exactly how we learned it. And I think that the basics are so good and so clear, Shelley. There's nothing I need to add. I don't know about Jan, but for me anyway.
Because Con's name's on your thing here. I keep going to call you Con. Just say I've accidentally call you Con, you'll know why.
Have my name on the Facebook. I don't go there.
You can change it, so I'm just keeping it on the time because I know we've got a bit to cover. So keeping good records. So I like to have exercise books and put things in, and I also use a diary. And I just find using a diary or a monthly or weekly planner is great, because I can put everything out where I can see it, because I'm very visual. But of course, some people like the technology and doing it on their iPads and things like that too. So whatever suits you. It's great to make sure you're organised and you're planning, and because you really want to treat it like a business. I've got here, treat your business like a business, not a hobby, it's a business. And keep all your receipts and everything like that. And these days receipts fade really quickly, so maybe even just copy them and have them as well, because you can claim a lot for your business. Keeping a separate bank account is a really good idea, so that it's just using a statement then to keep track of everything. And then of course in your member pack you get the retail order pad, which has got the white and pink copies. And this is a really good one to fill out every time you get a client, because one, it's got the date on there, and then you've got all their details, you've got what they've ordered. You can also include what they paid and what the difference is between your percentage and theirs, so you can work out your actual profit, and you can also put the volume points on there as well. So it's a really good way of keeping track of your gauges, and definitely for supervisors you want to have that as in good habits, so that when we do to get our royalty, we have what's called a 10 customer rule, and so we want to make sure that we've got all our retail receipts up to date. Okay, so make sure you use those, because it's a really good way of tracking your business and keeping an eye on your profit and things like that too. Did you have anything to add to that, Jan?
No, not really. You've covered it really well, but it is very important when a person starts out to keep like if they get paid in cash, to totally keep it separate, in a separate purse. I know Lydia did that, had a separate purse for her retail, because otherwise it can get absorbed into your daily sort of shopping. Because I know I did that in the beginning, and Mike used to go right off, where's your profit? But I used to, if I needed petrol, I'd spend that sort of money. So you do learn from your mistakes. So learn, for new people, learn from our mistakes and do it the right way, and keep a separate bank account or a separate purse or something, so you don't sort of lose your profit, because you need to repurchase your product, of course.
Yeah.
So that's very important to keep that separate.
I do remember Gary always saying that, don't spend your seed money. So if you've got, say, a Formula One, and just say you're at 25% and it's costing you $57.77, and then you retail it for $74.64 and you've made about $13 profit, you can't spend the $74.64. You need to actually, is it 64? Yeah, it is. So what you want to do is you want to go back and then get another Formula One, and then you've got that 13, put that in a separate account and build it up, and maybe then you can get 2 Formula Ones and keep building it up. Yes, it's great if you can get a Success Builder order or a senior consultant order or something like that. But if you can't, it's okay. You can bit by bit build up and have, build up some stock. Because one thing I know, and I've heard so many people say it, that if you've got stock there, it just goes, it keeps it moving. Yes. Okay. It's almost like you're telling the universe that you're abundant because you have more than what you need there, and it's going to go. People are going to want it. So make sure you've got a bit of stock, because I really feel that it will help your business flow better. Just as much as you can afford, but with the goal to build up. But if you can afford to go and get some stock there, when someone wants it, they don't have to wait. Because here in Gympie, we've got to wait. If I order it Monday, I'm probably going to get it on Friday. Sometimes it's not until the Monday after. It's a 4 to 5 day working day turnaround, which means that person has to wait for it if I don't have it in stock. So did you just have anything to add to that, Jan or Irene?
I was going to say, sorry, Jan. I was going to say that if you keep it separate and you can see your profit, it can be a great motivator and a great encouragement. If you don't know what you're earning or what the profit is, you don't know where you're going. Whereas when you have real profit, it can give you a great boost. And you can show it to your loved ones if you want, or you can at least say, this is my profit, this is what I have. And I found that, I remember, at the beginning when that happened for us and for me especially, it gave me, it not only was the money that was really good, but it also gave me a sense of achievement. And when you're starting out in your business, you really do need every little thing to give you that hope and that sense of achievement to keep going. And I think that's what knowing your profit and keeping it separate can really help as well.
Definitely. And you know what, relating back to last week's call on packaging your story, if you know your profit, you can package your story like we did with Lindy. We got this fantastic the powerful part-time story that you're able to share now, by working out how much profit you had made. And I think that's really, like Jim Rohn always says, the power of the part-time story. Most people are doing Herbalife part-time, and if you can show them how to earn that $50 a week profit, $100 a week profit, $500 a week or a month profit, it's really powerful. Because again, if someone went to their boss and asked for a pay rise, they probably wouldn't get it. So so make sure that you just keep good records. I have like another separate book, and I write all my orders in it, and then I put all the receipts in there as well, and I find I've got everything together. So I know how many orders I'm doing. I know who's ordered but hasn't been shipped yet, because sometimes with the merchant it takes a little while for the money to go in, and just working all those things out. And you know, I don't like doing it, but I know it has to be done. So again, treat your business like a business.
Hey, Shelley.
Yes, Lydia.
Shelley, I was just going to say, I was a little bit the same at the very beginning, because I came in at 25%, and then I saw the bigger picture, and then I ordered the 500 volume and got to 35%, and then actively done the 2,500 in 3 consecutive months to get to that 42%. So I didn't actually take profit out for the first 6 months, I guess, until I got to supervisor. And what I did at the very beginning was, I know this is probably going into a bit of detail, but I actually did keep in a pad what my profit was every time I sold a program. But I actually had different coloured stickers on top of my products. So I went with red stickers at 25% discount. So once all the reds were out, but at the same time, I did have blue stock coming in, which was my 35%, and then my green ones coming in for the 42%, just so I didn't get confused. When you have something that comes on hand, you're talking 25%, but you're also talking 50%, so they can actually see what the margin is and how much they made on that particular program. Eventually, obviously, the red and the blue got phased out, and it was all green coming in. But that's how I sort of kept track record. So people can actually see. So, what I'm trying to say is, if somebody does a 25%, they order 5 programs, and then the end of that month they actually go to 35%, but they actually think that they should be making more at 35% with the old stock on the shelf. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Whereas they brought that with only 25% discount, so to take the 25% out rather than the 35%. Yeah, just so they're not pulling too much out of the business without restocking, because I think, I really, really do think that is the key to this business. If you've got $1,000 over on the credit card, you want to talk to people. If there's no stock on the shelf, you've got your blinkers on going into school, and I do not want to talk to anybody because I have no stock. So I think that's the key for anybody starting out. It's like one of my old jobs, there's no money in empty beers, so there's no money on empty shelves.
Cool, thank you, Lydia. I'm glad that you. I wasn't sure if you were able to talk so much, so I'm glad. Thank you. I was thinking of you when we're doing this topic. So yes, so there's lots of different ways you can set it up so that you're treating it like a business. And then the other things are, use your monthly gauge sheet. So you've probably seen a lot of the ones where it's got the Get 20, Keep 20 gauge sheet, and it's got you in the center, and then all the circles around it. And you do one for each month. I tend to do one for retail and one for people that are ordering on BizWorks, so that I can keep track of both of those things. One is obviously people that are ordering directly through me, and other ones are obviously the people that are ordering themselves under their own ID number that maybe aren't supervisor yet. And use BizWorks as well. So if you haven't subscribed to BizWorks, I think it's about $10 or $11 a month, on something like that. But it's very useful because there's so many great things you can use to keep track of your own volume and progress, and your team's progress as well, seeing how close they get. Like I spoke to one of my clients, Shane, who's in Brisbane, and he's doing really well, and he's now VIP'd and he's ordering himself. And I know he's done 180 volume points this month, earlier in the month. So what I said to him is that if he does need to order in the next couple of weeks before the end of the month, we'll see how close it is to the 500. And if he wants to increase that, then he can get to 35%. So I said, look, you don't have to do it, but I just wanted to let you know that these are some of the options you can do to get at a higher discount and save some extra money. So I said, I'll let you know, and then you can make a decision. So it's a really good way to show people how they can just step to that next level as well. And I had Kath next door who called off the car sign, and she started on Ultimate Program, and I think even 1 month she's ordered like 690 volume points. So she obviously loves the product. So she comes over once a week and we have a chat, and I just wrote out her total volume. I said, oh, did you realize, Kath, you've already done 1,100 and something volume points in this very short amount of time? So in a 12-month period, if you got to 4,000 volume points, you could actually get to 50%. I could see her eyes go ping. And I showed her on the price list the difference between 35% where she is now and 50%. So it's just letting people know that there are those options out there, and it doesn't matter if they don't do it, but at least you told them, and then they have the first right of refusal, basically. So let them know about all the options in the marketing plan, even your VIPs and clients that have signed up to get the products cheaper, so that they know it's available. Don't prejudge, just let them decide. And look for a good bookkeeper or accountant as your business grows too, unless you're really good at that yourself. Get someone that can, because what you want to do is you want to spend your time doing what you're good at, which is talking to people and doing follow-up and helping your team grow, and upgrading people onto other products and asking for referrals. That's what your skills are and what you're good at. So find someone to do other things as well. So for example, I know the first thing I'm going to do is, once I've built up my income a bit more, is I know I'm not particularly keen on cleaning. I'm going to get someone to come and do some cleaning for me, and ironing, because I hate ironing. And in fact, I hate ironing so much that my girls saw it in a picture, they thought it was a kettle. So they obviously didn't know what an iron was. Having people to do those things so you can do what your time is best spent at, okay? And again, it's treating your business like a business. And guess what? How many people, I'm sure there's people on this call that have had cleaners and pool people come in and do things for you, and then you get them on the products anyway. Yeah. How often does that happen? So that happens a lot, right? So it just gives you new people to speak to, that's all. So just some final tips with recruiting is, you want to treat your team member like a client to begin with. You want to help them get the best result possible. You want to teach them how to do good follow-up through example. You want to use the events to help them upgrade. So it's a great way people can upgrade themselves because they're hearing other stories and things like that for inspiration. You want to know what people want and then give them the support they need accordingly. So are they a business builder? Are they a volume producer? Or are they a client? So if someone's a customer and they just want to get a result, which is nothing wrong with that, or maybe a higher discount, then you help them do that. You don't keep pushing them to, become supervisor or get to a spectacular yet until you find they've changed what they want. A volume producer, that's someone that maybe wants products cheaper. They've got a few clients. They might even have a few members as well ordering underneath them. So they've probably got a good wholesale check and maybe with the possibility of building royalties. So yes, you want to get them on the team call and invite them to the STS and get them onto some of those things. But make sure you're giving them enough support as well so that they can know how to do follow-up and everything like that. The business builder is someone that should be doing everything. They should be attending all the events. They're recruiting and they're retailing. So this person needs a fair bit of support to teach them how to run a business like a business. And yes, you want to encourage them to go to some, to the extravaganzas and things like that too. So you just need to know the level of support and what to invite people into. But again, a client can become a business builder, and a business builder can sometimes become a client if circumstances change. So make sure you know where people are at and what they want, and always offer the opportunity to everybody. Don't assume that they're not interested. Just ask, hey, would you be interested in becoming a coach? Would you like to earn some extra income? Especially if someone's giving you lots of referrals, and this happens a lot. A client will get a result, they'll start giving you heaps of referrals, and you can say, hey, by the way, if you looked after these people, they're your friends and family anyway, you could earn a really good part-time income. Would you be interested in finding out how? So just offer the opportunity, and the worst they're going to say is no. And it's a win-win situation. You win, they win, so it's all good. Jen or Irene, did you want to add anything to this, or Lydia?
No, that's fine.
Cool. I think that's the last slide for the recruiting. So what I just thought I would do is just to ask everyone what your favourite recruiting method is. So Irene, tell me what your favourite recruiting method and how you got your last team member.
Okay, well, the first... For me, I didn't know anything about the business, and I started part-time, and Conrad was going to be doing it full-time, and he was in advertisement, in ads, so he put an ad in the paper and was sitting watching the phone. It never rang, and I thought, how can I help him? And so I took him out. I thought, I know how to shop. So I took him out to Mosman in Sydney, and I said, come on. And I went in, and the first thing, I never forget my pitch was, I'm handing out flyers, maybe you know somebody. And that was, and to this day, I still love to do that for two reasons. First of all, I have my target. I know how many people I want to talk to. I can have it done as fast or as slowly as I want. I get out and about to different areas. I do have, because I'm in Queensland now, on my GPS home, because I get lost very quickly. So the car brings me home. No kidding. And that has been, and it still is, for me, the most effective way to increase anything I want to increase in our business. The last person that we recruited was the fellow who just finished pebble-creting our pool. We revamped it. And he actually was interested because he wanted the discount. And the reason that he was interested was that each day we would, at some point in time, give him a shake, and it was always the Rebuild Strength. I mentioned that before. And so for him, it was just natural that he would want to be able to get it, because he works in a very physical industry and he noticed the difference. So that was our last person.
Well, thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Irene. Jen, what's your favourite recruiting method, and how did you get your last team member?
Okay. We built our business basically on ads in newspapers, which is a little different to this day and age, but also flyers. Mike always, I did flyers as well, but Mike did most of the flyers. And it's amazing where a flyer can take you. It was through a flyer that I sponsored somebody who was going back to India, and when India was opening, Jennifer and Norman Donaldson and myself, we went to India, and that's how I built a team in India. It was all through a flyer, and I got to see the Taj Mahal, which is something I wanted to see from the age of 12. So it's amazing how your dreams can come true just from a little piece of paper in a letterbox. So you just never know. So ads and flyers are the main ones. The most recent person was a referral from one of my ladies who's on the products, her daughter. She was on the call the other night, Shelley Candice. She's actually away at the moment. And she's up and down with the products, but she's gradually getting there a lot better, a fair bit of weight to lose. So hopefully she's okay while she's been on holiday. Won't be back until next week, so we'll just wait and see. But the other person was actually, you've got to sort of take the good with the bad, and this is something that I'll share because not everything always goes 100%. But I did have a lead from Herbalife, and most times they don't eventuate to anything. Anyway, this young man, he did come round and he did get sponsored. But anyway, then he rang up about 3 days later. No, I don't want to do it. I'm, not interested anymore. So I thought, oh, well, not much I can do about it. Long story short, last week, one of the ladies at the meeting I go to, the Kerry Bowie's meeting, Jenny, her name is, she was just recently bought a new house and was having it sort of pesticided, sprayed and everything. And the young man who came to see me, that's what he used to do for a living, or did for a living. Lo and behold, it was this Michael young man that was spraying the house. So Jenny got talking to him about, I don't know how the conversation came up because she's just learning how to talk to people about Herbalife. Anyway, long story short, she realised that it must have been me that had spoken to him. So he didn't realise that he was already sponsored because he got sponsored but didn't want to do anything. So this is what, you just got to take everything as it comes. Anyway, long story short, she gave him my details and everything, and he was going to ring me. Lo and behold, 4 days later, he still hadn't rung me. So Friday, I rang him, and he realised who I was. He said, yes, I'll give you a call in a couple of days. So that remains to be seen whether or not he does get back to me. So I'll tell you the story if he does come through.
Thank you. Yes, well, you never know.
You just don't know, yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jan. That's awesome. Lydia, what's your favourite recruiting method and how you sponsored your last person?
Okay, so I have usually only ever recruited from my first line or second line. So that's somebody that may have come through from a shake party, wanting to know more about the business. They've stayed behind, and curiosity has gotten to them, and we've explained, a little bit about what we do. you know, or I guess, you know, like the last client that came, not last client, but the last lady that I've been working with since May this year, you know, she sort of said that, you know, 25% discount wasn't enough. So I just used the words that I would normally use, or if they were in front of me, which she wasn't, she's in Rockhampton, I would usually at a shake party, you know, just point to the highlighted section. Do you want to be here or here, or here at 50% off? Let me show you how. That's just basically how I've always flipped in first line supervisors. Not all of them take on the business, you know, but you just never know who, you know, that is extremely happy with my business and me, that I don't get a referral, just like Jan said earlier. So yeah, so majority of my guys have come from just clients wanting to get a bigger discount and just being around us and being involved in what we do. And like I said at shake parties before, we've given, you know, just guests little things to do and asked them to, you know, help us today and do this and do that. And they sort of fall into the business and just want to be around happy-go-lucky people. And that's how Erica came in. She wanted a bigger discount. So she's at 35% and yeah, gunning for January to become supervisor. So yeah, and just going back to what you said earlier, what you actually do to duplicate yourself. And that's what I do. I like to do shake parties and the markets, because it gives me and my new people the opportunity to see how we roll. You know, and for them to present their stories and get leadership and have fun at the same time. And yeah, like you said, you just find something that you're good at, and it just happens naturally. And shake parties is just a bit more fun, I find, more relaxing. So that's what we do.
Cool. To
get people to a high discount.
That's awesome. So many different ways to recruit, hey? Excellent. Thank you, Lydia. Lindy, what's your favourite recruiting method, and how did you get your last member?
Mine has to be through walking and talking and wearing the button, which I was really fearful of for a while, but then I realised that I was treating it just like something casual, not like a business, you know. So I just changed my mindset, put the button on, and just went, that's it, I'm going out there. So my last distributor was one of my disability support workers. Yeah, so, and then that's sort of spreading out now to his family in the Philippines. So that's just slowly starting to come on. Yeah, and then there's, I'll maybe go into a little bit more next week, but there is a method called earthing, where you just go out, you stand with your feet on the ground, hands up to the whatever, and just say, get rid of all the rubbish, and then I just want all the good stuff to come in. And every single time when I do that, 2 days later, something happens. Something positive happens.
Excellent. And that's developing that mindset that we're talking about as well before you talk to people. So.
Yeah, I have to say, I always thought I was treating it as a business, but then after the last couple of sessions here, writing it down, and you're right, your 90-day plan doesn't, if you don't do it on the fourth day, you start again. I wasn't starting again. So I'll start again.
Yes. So that's great. So, you know,
oops, Irene heard me.
so we're all, you know, getting that business mindset and being serious. We're having fun, but we're serious about what we do. So can't wait to hear the results, Lindy. Thank you very much for sharing.
No problem.
Okay, Coral and Michael, what's your favourite recruiting method, and how did you get your last member?
That was me talking to you, wasn't it?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, our last member was Circle of Influence with Michael working away up at the mines. Yep. And he recruited a guy through that by the products of the product. He's been away in New South Wales, so he's yet to come back to really start the program. But my favourite, it was Facebook, and I don't know how, but I got a lady contact me one morning, and she turned around and said, I want the tea, no shake. Can I come around? And this is like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm thinking, can you make it 8? So she come around, and by the time she left, she handed me over $1,000 cash, 35%, and for the skin range, the product, and this is all over herbal teas. And how I got her, she was at 17, and a lady gave her a herbal tea. She loved it so much and hadn't had it for years, but never left the number on her, on the container. So when she seen me on Facebook, she went, well, I think that's Herbalife, and contacted me. And now she's a supervisor.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So Centre of Influence works as well. And thank you for sharing, Carol and Michael. You're doing awesome. Mervyn, what's your favourite recruiting method, and how did you get your last member?
I do flyers, but I do mostly walking and talking, because when I'm doing my other work with addicts and those sort of things, they ask me about it because I wear my badge. And they are, 3 of them are very interested in them at the present time, but my last client came from a flyer. She's been over to Indonesia, she's just come back and she's just started again on the products. So, yeah.
Cool. So that's all such great different ways of doing recruiting, and guess what? They all work. So but you have to do them for them to work, of course. Mine's probably ads and flyers and just talking to people. I really do like walking and talking. And I must admit, I didn't like it to start with. I was quite petrified, but of course, eventually you get over yourself and realize that you just never know who you're going to talk to next, and that's kind of exciting. And just put yourself out there, and why not expect the most and the best? Have that abundance mindset and attract more to you, and just imagine it's like you're attracting people to you, and the people that are going to help you on your mission and help you change people's lives. So my last member was Donna. So I went and a beauty therapist I know, I went in and I gave her a sample of the peach instant herbal beverage, and she loved it so much she ordered it. But when I dropped it off, she was actually doing a massage. She's got this tiny little thing in this little room you come into next to it where she's doing massage, and I had the girls with me as well. I said, oh, hi Karen, I'm just dropping your tea in. She goes, oh, thank you, I just love it. And she was raving about it. And of course the person she was giving the massage to was listening, and then she got my number and she called, and she had been on Herbalife years and years ago and didn't know who her coach was anymore. And I went in and saw her, and it's really interesting because it's the shop in Mary Street, and I do these shops all the time, and I'd been in there so many times, and she wasn't interested in even taking a flyer yet, because it was through someone that knew someone. She's on it, so she's got started retail. Then she VIP, she's ordering herself, she's loving it, she's adding in extra products and things, protein bars, and she's over the moon. She's lost weight and she's just so happy. Every time I go and see her, she said, I'm just so happy, I just feel so good. And and of course she's in the public eye, everyone can see her, and so who knows what will happen. I've already told her about the 35%, and you just don't know what will happen from there as well. So there's lots of different ways of being able to recruit. So that finishes our recruiting section. I'm just going to see if I can change this over. Let's see how good I am. I think I reduced this. It might not let me do it, so let me try. So I stop share that one, and then I reduce that. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Can't minimize it. Whoops, where did everyone go?
We're here.
We're still here.
Okay, so I'm just going to click escape.
We're here.
Close. Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, that's good. Phew. Here we are. So these are the promotions.
It's just a big picture of you at the moment.
I know. Isn't that great? Not really, no.
Oh, sorry. Do I have to listen? Sorry.
It's fine. Oh, now, how do I bring that up? So there's that one. So how do I bring that forward? Sorry.
All right.
Everyone who knows what I'm like, I'm just going to, I don't know how to do it. Oh, there you are. Okay, got it. So it gets easier the more you do it. Pretty sure it's this one.
I'll be brave one day.
Promotions, yes, please do. I'm always happy to have more people. Okay, so slideshow. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yay! Look at that.
Perfect.
Here we all are. Ta-da! It's magic. So the events and promotions that Herbalife put out for us, there's a few reasons for it. One is when you're not sure what your goals are, it's giving you goals and teaching you how to goal set and aim for things and stretch and grow. But the events and promotions really do create growth in your business, so you've got to promote them. And I just wanted to go through some of the ones that are coming up in this last 5 minutes of the call. So the STSs, so this obviously shows the Brisbane one, but I just want you to know that STSs, Success Training Seminars, are all over Australia, all over the world. So you can plug people that you know that you've got registered, even people that maybe have signed up as a VIP member and they just want the discount. They've still got a free ticket in their member packs to get them along to an STS so they can hear more results, go to a product training and see the bigger picture. And of course, the business opportunity does get presented to them as well. So it's a really nice way of being able to expose them to other things that offer. So there's lots of STSs. A lot of them, Herbalife has a list of them, so you can go and contact them, or you can obviously, Facebook's another one where they get shared. So I'm just going, I think someone put a message, I just want a quick look. So, okay, so if you've got an STS that you want to share, you can share it on Challenge Yourself Daily, or just go to your local Facebook page, or as you can see here, a lot of them have their own website, so there's brisbanests.com. So just think, who do you know in each of the cities? Learn the story. So there's obviously Buddy from Sydney, and you learn their story. Sometimes they'll do a video and then you start promoting it. So you just might have someone that you can invite along that will relate to this person. They might not relate to your background, but they might relate to him. So keep inviting and get them in front of the places where they're going to hear more stories, because it's really the stories that are the key. Irene or Jan, did you have anything to add to that?
No, that's fine.
Cool.
But
So
he's a
obviously
very
this,
nice, very passionate man. So I'm really looking forward to being at the training with him. He's very good trainer.
excellent. So this is on the 27th of October, but of course sometimes they're not always on exactly the same date. So make sure you get them in your diary. I usually write them in my diary so everything's in ahead of time so I can plan around it if I'm able to. Why is that not going forward? Okay, so the Queensland Recognition Evening. I know Coral was asking about this one last week. So this is exclusively for Queensland, but just if you don't live in Queensland, don't move here for it, or you can if you want. But you might have team members that live in Queensland, so make sure you're letting them know about this, okay? This is all part of it, just thinking outside the square. Yes, I do have a team member. I should be letting them know. So it goes from September, October, November, and December. So we're still in qualification for this. And there's two parts to it. There's your recruitment recognition. So it's open to all members who register. And they register 10 first-line members during the qualification period. So 10, not in 1 month, but 10 in September, October, November. Sorry, September, October, so that's 3 months. I don't know why I thought that was 4. It's 3 months. So in 3 months, you can register 10 first-line members, or 15 first-line members, or 20 first-line members. So that's quite achievable for most people to do, okay? But you've got to be in action and you've got to be in recruiting mode. The other one is personal production, open to all members who accumulate in the 3-month period 10,000 volume points, 15,000 volume points, or 20,000 volume points. So there will actually be a special recognition evening, and this is something you definitely want to go for. And you know what, you can do more than this. Just because this is the amount, you don't have to aim for this. If you want to do more volume or more people, that's fine too. You might go, oh, okay, I'm going to try for 10 people a month for 3 months. It's going to give me 30. Or you might just be starting out and go, okay, I'm just going to hit that 3 or 4 people a month, and just build it up as well. So whatever is your amount, that's what I would be going for. So Jan, did you want to add to this?
No, that's fine. You've covered that well.
Cool. So I hope Coral and Michael, because Coral, I know you'll ask me about this, I hope that clears that one up. But print it out and have it there, and I would just aim for the top one and go for that, because you're at least going to hit one of those then. Okay, and we're halfway through October, so basically you're only halfway through the promotion. We've got plenty of time for you to go for this. Just, it's helping you to finish off the year strong, obviously, and it's helping you to duplicate yourself and build your business. So this is a perfect recruiting promotion as well. Okay, so the Success Summit is happening on the 17th of November all around Australia. So there's 7 locations, including Cairns, which is really cool. And it also includes a recognition, like a reception, qualifiers reception, so Friday and Saturday. It's open to all new supervisors who qualify between April to October 2018. So still plenty of time. So we've got until the end of this month to get people qualified. It's also open to all fully qualified supervisors, so this is basically supervisors and up, who achieve 5,000 volume points in any 1 month between August and October, or open to fully qualified supervisors who accumulate 7,500 volume points in any 2 consecutive months between August and October. Okay, so there's a few different ways, and it's really, this is really promoted to the brand new supervisors because it's like a special training they qualify for to help them advance their business. Last time we had Joanna Guinea, and she was fantastic in Brisbane. And she was great. She really shared from the heart. She shared how she had all this stuff going on in her life and she was still able to qualify for World Team even though she had someone in hospital, and she was doing exams and all this stuff was happening, and she still was able to make it happen. So it was like this no excuses training, and I found that really fantastic. So did you have anything to add for that, Jan?
No, it's the actual day is open to all members, and then there's special sections for the new supervisor and qualified supervisor.
Oh, okay. Sorry, here it is. Yeah, I was looking on there and I couldn't see it. Here it is right here in front of my eyes. Open to all members. So yes, thank you. Very great point. You do not have to be a supervisor to attend this. So you can invite all your members to come along. There's also a special training for new supervisors that qualify in this period. And for people that are already supervisor and above, they still have to qualify to attend as well. But remember, it's open to all members, and you can get your tickets on myherbalife.com.au in the events section. So yes, you definitely want to get your members to this training. It's open to everybody. So thank you, Jan. I knew it was, and I didn't quite see that circle there. So thank you for bringing that up.
Jared is our special guest for that, and he's brilliant.
Excellent, Jared.
He's Quinton's sponsor.
Yes, very humble, and yes, so Jared Cater, what an amazing person to hear from in Brisbane. But remember, it's all around Australia as well, including Cairns. So who do you know in Cairns? The Adelaide Spectacular 2019 is going to be from the 8th to the 10th of February at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, where it was last year, which is a great venue just outside the city, really easy to get to. The first release for the early bird tickets are available, so you really want to jump on and get your tickets to the Spectacular. And I love this button here, so I'll be there, will you? So this is an amazing event. It goes over a weekend. We get an international speaker, which I think is Dan Waldron. Is this correct?
Yes.
So, you know, and people that have been trained by Mark Hughes. So you're getting that real back to basics Mark Hughes training, and it really gives you a bigger picture. There's lots of recognition. It's fun. There's lots of exclusive merchandise. It's a great way of networking with people all over Australia and New Zealand. And yeah, it's just an amazing weekend. So it certainly gives you a big picture of what Herbalife is without having to go overseas, but then obviously that springboards into our extravaganza as well. So Irene, did you want to add a little bit about why someone should come to the Spectacular?
For me, and I guess you can only ever speak from your own perspective, the Spectacular is, the word says it all, but it really is, it shows you your family, your Australian family and New Zealand family. And especially the Australian family, you know, it's such a big country. When you go to the Spectacular, you are really going to meet all your family. And that was something for me as a migrant that was so important at the beginning. The training is always beyond what you imagine. And I think that it opens your mind to possibilities, and it shows you through the stories as well that anyone, no matter who they are, where they come from, can achieve what they want to achieve. And I think sometimes we're alone in our little corners and we don't really realize what a huge company it is already here in Australia. And for me, I find it at times a bit overwhelming when I was new. I found it a little emotional when I was new, because I thought, oh my gosh, what am I involved in? This is more than I ever imagined. But when you think of it as your family, it's like having your, you know, having a party with your family, you know, and learning together. It makes you all stronger, not just you yourself, but everyone else. That's what I feel about it. But I'm a very simple soul, Shelley, you know. And so that's what I get from it, seeing everybody, seeing old friends, and learning and meeting new ones. And if I may say one thing here, we were taught to try and meet at least one new person when you or greet one person you don't know. And, you know, that is the perfect place to do this, because it makes you feel more as part of the family as well, you know. And yeah, it's just, you can't miss it, because you will learn so much, but you will learn outside the actual training as well, from each other as well as inside. Jan, I don't know if I didn't explain it very well.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I think, you know, it's an investment. You're investing in your business, you're investing in your future and in yourself. And you want to take as many people with you as well. You know, you're saying, I'm going, and who's coming with me? And let's see.
We've already got our ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, we've already got our ticket. Wouldn't miss it. Couldn't miss it.
So I remember my first kind of spectacular, and they didn't really have them in Australia at that stage. I think I was 23 and never been overseas before. And I went to Orlando, Florida, and I got to see Mark Hughes, and Laurie Thompson was there, Jim Rowan, and Dr. Katzen. So it was quite like I had jet lag the whole time I was there. I was really overwhelmed because I hadn't been overseas before, but it was an amazing experience. And they hired out all of Universal Studios, and they had Ray Charles perform. It was really amazing. Like, I'll never forget that. That was my very first. Yeah, so that was amazing. Just totally.
Yeah.
So that was my first spectacular, but it was overseas.
When I was first from overseas, I thought, I stood and I looked around at all the different nations sitting together with one common mission and goal. And I thought, I wish my mum could see this, because she always believed in love and kindness, and, you know, and to help each other. And I thought, wow, look at this. It was so emotional, wasn't it, Jenny?
Oh, absolutely. I think there was 23,000 people, something like that. It was just huge. It was amazing. So we definitely want you to be at the Spectacular in Adelaide, to feel that, you know, that bigger picture, and you know, see what we see, feel what we feel. So I just want to go over a couple extra things. There's how to reactivate members online is a lot easier now. So if someone maybe hasn't paid their renewal, it's actually quite easy to go on myherbalife.com.au now and reactivate them, and they just pay the renewal instead of having to go to Herbalife and do a form. And that, it's just much easier online. So I've just done this, and it was quite simple. The October customer newsletter is available as well. So you can get all these on myherbalife.com.au and start sharing these with your clients and with VIP members, even people maybe that haven't been ordering for a little while, and give them something to plug into. So you want to use these are resources for you. Even the Herbalife the official Facebook page, Herbalife, has some fantastic posts that you can share. They're really professional and interesting, and there's recipes, there's workouts and things like that. So use all the tools and resources that are available to you. Definitely keep promoting the new Formula One Select, even doing like a sample session or a shake party. Let people know how amazing this is as well, particularly people that have ever said, oh no, I can't take that because I'm celiac or this or that. You know, these are the people. Go back through your list and start going to people. This is the time of the year that people are wanting to get on the products and getting results. And also that time of the year with Christmas coming up, I'm really glad that Herbalife has brought out the new Christmas catalogue early this year so that you can really take advantage of it. Look, yes, sure, some of these might not, they may sell out quickly. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the arrow. So with an ultimate program, you can get one of those really cool Herbie Bling Tabby boxes. So this is a fantastic gift for someone just for ordering an ultimate program. How cool is that? There's all different containers and bottles and hats, bags, the salad container, these new shaker cup as well. I think that's beautiful. So there's lots of different incentives you can give to your clients, and or as gifts as well. With the Herbalife H24 sports pack, there's a sports bag they can get, and with an ultimate skin program you can get the trolley bag. This is a beautiful trolley bag. You'd actually take out the compartments and they could use it as a travel bag. It's really, really beautiful. It's got wheels as well. The handle comes up. It's really professional. So these are fantastic gifts. I mean, that trolley case was it cost like over $100, and they're getting an amazing gift. just for ordering that ultimate program. So not only are they going to get great results by using the skin, they've also got this amazing branded bag as well, which is kind of like advertising for you. So I really want you to think about the gifts. I think there's one more. I don't know if I haven't got that one. There is another one with candles and things too. I must have forgot to put it on. So make sure you see that catalogue. It's on myherbalife.com.au, and start thinking about gift giving and also promoting it to your clients, because some of them may even be interested before Christmas, because we've obviously got a couple of months. So you just want to start letting people know what you've got available. With the Herbalife Vacation, this is open to all fully qualified supervisors. So if there's ever a time to be a supervisor, it would be now. So I'm sure Lydia's letting Erica know about this, that once you go supervisor, she can start qualifying for this amazing vacation. So what a great thing to aim for. And Jan's like the master of visualization. I just heard you talking about the Taj Mahal. You've been visualizing it since you were 12 and you got to go and do it. So here you like another example of your amazing visualization skills. So you want to, if you want to qualify for these things, yes, you want to know how to qualify. So 70,000 volume points during the qualification period, which goes over 12 months. There was a double volume one in August for fully qualified supervisors. But if you're not supervisor, get there first and then start tracking your volume. There's even a volume tracker on myherbalife.com.au. But start printing out some photos of Vietnam and really seeing yourself there. So Jan, did you have any tips for that?
No, just like you said, find some photos of the general area and visualise yourself being there. And there's some beautiful beaches and everything, so I've been told. So it's certainly a beautiful place to visit.
Gorgeous. So you could even take a few days beforehand and go and do a bit of sightseeing and that sort of thing, go along to the vacation and then head home and use it to paint that picture of how people can have a lifestyle as well as running a business. So it's a good mix of work and play, plus the people that have qualified for it, you get to make connections and network as well. So it's actually an amazing experience and you get totally spoiled rotten. It's like a money can't buy experience basically by Herbalife. There's other ways of getting your volume points as well other than just personal volume. There's the double volume month that we had, the Active World Team bonus, the member activation program bonus. There's one especially for President's Team, and also the Star Rewards and Star Points program. So there's actually quite a few ways of gathering your volume points. So just print it all out and have it in front of you as well. Now, I don't know if there's one more after this. So that was it. So next week, we're going to add in the member activation program. Sorry, not the member action, the active supervisor program, the active member program, and also the other one, which I've got out of my head, the supervisor one, just so that we can go through those exactly how to qualify for that. I'm just going to stop sharing so we can see everybody. Cool. So I know we went a little bit out of time. This is being recorded so that you can send that out to people as well. So I want to thank everyone for being on the call tonight, for sharing as well. It was a really great call. There was heaps of fantastic information. So thank you, everyone. So we're going to finish recording so I can send this off to get converted. So hang on 2 seconds.